Hey, Mr. Barr here for Driver's Ed. What we're going to do now this week, since we're finished with the permit testing, is we're going to move on to the Red Book, Responsible Driving. The first unit looks at driving, mobility, and laws. First chapter is driving mobility. Second one is administrative and traffic laws. Third one is signs, signals, and pavement markings. So with chapter 1, you will look at driving and mobility. I don't have PowerPoints for this, so I'll just probably talk to you guys this way. You can kind of listen and follow along. Then you can use this for attempting the in the chapter questions as well. So chapter 1, driving and mobility. The first thing it talks about in this book is mobility. It's just the ability to get around. But then it says, what do you gain from driver's ed? It says useful knowledge on how your emotions, alcohol, the vehicle works, and other emergency situations. Managing visibility, time, and space. Basically what that means is that's learning to look around you and understand what is safe and what is not safe. Some awareness of limiting factors. This is the invincibility complex we have at a younger age, and the fact that in a car it is very dangerous and you have to understand that. Then it says, why do drivers tend to get in crashes? Some factors are young drivers lack experience, which is an obvious statement. But the only way we can gain experience is by you guys getting in a car and driving. So as soon as you get your permits, the only way you're going to ever feel comfortable driving is by driving. You have got to get in the car. You can listen to Mr. Barr talk. You can talk to your parents about it. You can watch videos, and it's all going to educate you in a way, but nothing will teach you about driving until you just get in the car and drive. So you need to do that. It says young drivers drive at dangerous times and transport passengers. Basically what they're talking about here is your distractions. You guys are prone to distractions, looking at what's going on around you rather than focusing on the task of driving itself. Then it just says that young drivers drive differently because you, again, have that invincibility complex where you feel like nothing can hurt you, nothing can stop you. You basically need to understand that everything in the car is dangerous. So you have to respect what you're doing. The second section looks at the highway transportation system, which was set up to get us from town to town. The history of the HTS is obviously, if you look back at old movies, it started as dirt roads with wagons. And then once they decided that it'd be faster if we made cars, then we had to make better roads. Then we wanted to make better cars, so we had to make better roads yet. So the roads have evolved into what we have now, where we have interstates that allow us to go 70 miles an hour and get to places much faster than we used to. There are 230 million registered vehicles and 194 registered drivers. So there's a lot of people on the roads, and this is what's the issue, is anytime you're dealing with lots of people on the roads, you're dealing with issues with a lot of chances for collisions. Risk factors go way up. Third section deals with actual risk. There's some good numbers here. It says in any given year the likelihood of you being involved in a crash is about 1 in 9. In any given year your chances of suffering a disabling injury is 1 of 83. 38% of people who die between the age of 15 and 20 die in a motor vehicle. 85% of those occur on the first collision, which is huge. So in life you've always probably been taught that learn from your mistakes. Well, that statistic right there tells you that if you make a mistake in a car, 85% of the time you can only make one. So that's how important it is to be almost perfect in a car. More than 57% of fatal crashes involve only one vehicle. I'm going to do a lot of talking about the other bad drivers that are out there in the world, but we also have to understand that 57% of the time it's just us getting in a single vehicle accident that hurts us. How can we reduce these risks? Keep your vehicle in good shape. Anticipate the actions, which is the defensive driving, which we talked about in the rules of the road. Protect yourself from others, safety belts and whatnot. Drive only when sound physically and mentally to do so. Make a conscious effort to develop your driving skills. Build a good foundation, ask questions, and learn. Fourth one talks about the cost of driving. Crash costs are extremely high in our country. If we can get those down, it helps everybody because everybody's insurance rates go down. We could minimize crash costs by wearing our safety belts because a lot of crash costs go up with the fact that we're not wearing safety belts, and now just a little accident turns into a bigger accident because now you are in the hospital. Some non-crash costs are operating costs. It costs money for gas, oil, and tires. These are expenses that a lot of us don't think about, but they're rather costly. Some fixed costs would be the cost of your car or your actual insurance. Again, very costly depending on who's paying for it. And then the environmental cost of polluting the environment and whatnot. It says you got to look at the cost-benefit ratio to see if you should be driving. And I always challenge our students every year when I talk about this to carpool to school if you can, because it saves you money, it saves the environment, it's good for everybody, and it's just a good economical decision. That is it for chapter 1, and that's basically what we're going to do from this day forward. Is I'm going to lecture you guys 1 chapter a day, followed by 10 questions. 10 questions will be on the Google Forms like we've done in the past, so you'll get an instant response on those 10 questions. So watch the video. You can use the video for the answers to these questions. I don't care if you Google them. I don't care what you do. The goal would be for you to get 10 out of 10. So do the 10, and good luck.